the Bengals, you've arrived, I would guess, just in time for some pretty good vibes following the signing of the Shamar Stewart deal. Yes or
Yeah, I
no?
was there. Yeah, I was actually at Shamar's first practice. The offense is going to be insane. I would just say this: like, this is the first normal offseason that offensive core has had together. As unbelievable that is, it's true. If you go back over the course of Joe Burrow's 5 off seasons previous to this one, the first one was COVID. The second one, he's coming off the ACL. The third one, I believe, was appendicitis. The fourth one was the calf. The fifth one was the wrist. So he's been dealing with something. On top of that, the last couple of off seasons, he's had his receivers in contract disputes. So, I mean, like the fact that those guys were all there and in house and working together towards the season, like they were the best offense in the league at the end of last year without all
Yeah.
that, you know? And you have Mike Gesicki back, who, like, not going to set the world on fire, but it's the first time they've had a pass catching tight end in consecutive seasons, believe it or not. The tackle situation, I think, if Amarius Mims is who they think he's going to be, that should be pretty good. Chase Brown, that's a guy who's going to make a leap. So the offense, I think, is going to be off the charts. Can they be middle of the pack on defense?
Yeah.
That's the question, right?
How did Stewart look
I don't think they need to be unbelievable. I mean, physically, he looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
Physically, like, I just, it was hard to tell on day one, I would say. Now, the one thing that Al Golden, I think, is bringing coming over from Notre Dame, and Lou Anarumo did a phenomenal job there. And I think he was sort of collateral damage in the whole thing. And I don't know that Zach Taylor really wanted to move on from Lou. Yeah, I think Al Golden coming in, one thing that they sort of emphasized going back to a base fundamental level, and like, can we play a little bit faster? Can we do a little bit less and get better results as a product of guys going out there and having to think a lot less, So I think that's going to give a chance to give guys like Shamar Stewart, Demetrius Knight. They think he might be one of the best linebackers they've had in a long time, or can be that. So, like, for those young players, Josh Newton at corner, like, does the construct of the defense now allow those guys to get up and running faster? And then, of course, the other big question is what happens with Trey Hendrickson.
At this point, you can't not get him in, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing as like the way I talked about the TJ Watt situation.
Right.
Like, trading TJ Watt, as much as people love to like throw the idea of it out there, would have been in conflict with everything else the Steelers did this offseason. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely everything they did this offseason would be in direct conflict with that idea. So, like, I feel sort of the same way on this one, where like the spot the Bengals are in, the effort they've made to change the way they do things, the way they constructed the contracts for Burrow and for Chase. Higgins' contract's more of a traditional Bengals deal. Even like adding to the personnel staff, like they're doing little things that show like, oh, wait a minute, maybe Joe really is the change agent. You know what I mean? Maybe Joe is really the one that's like, that's not only affecting the winning on the field, but also affecting the way the team does business overall. So, this is a test for them. And Trey's in an interesting spot because of it.
Two things that I'm really interested in that I wanted you to hit quickly that you wrote from Cincinnati that I think would have massive implications. Mm-hmm. The idea that Chase Brown looks great at tailback. And I think this has been a position of need, obviously, since they let go of Joe Mixon, a position that they really haven't invested in. And I think a lot of us are just sitting there pounding the table like, why doesn't Joe Burrow have an equally complementary run game? But the connection to that, too, is that you also wrote in your camp takeaways, which everyone should check out at si.com, is that they have a rookie in the process of locking down the left guard spot in Dylan Fairchild. So if they hit on some young offensive linemen, and if that back finally develops, and again, I've said if 300 times in the last 30 seconds, I mean, that to me is the story. We know what Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Mike Gesicki, and we know what's possible there. The big unknown is the power element of this offense.
Right. And I think Chase Brown he played in that sort of offense at Illinois. And if, you pay attention to the way Brett Bielema has always built his teams, it's been with like the running back has to be a hammer. And so like I think there's like a little bit of a balance there. So I think Chase Brown can bring that style to you. He's worked a lot on getting better in the passing game, catching the ball out of the backfield, pass pro. So he's becoming more complete, which means you can leave him out there more. But I mean, yeah, like you want him to kind of be the tone setter now. And when I talked to people there, I remember last year, it was like, yeah, we're going to have this committee with Chase Brown and Zach Moss. And it's not that anymore. It's like Zach Moss, Taj Brooks, this rookie they have, those guys are the backups. And Chase Brown's the guy. You balance that with, I think, the fact that he's 208 pounds, so like, it's just as tough and physical as he is, like you're also, I think going to have to monitor how much you're putting on him as well. So I think he can make a big difference for sure. And then Fairchild's, I thought one thing that was interesting is like Georgia had the three interior offensive linemen. I think all three of them might start. So Jared Wilson, wow, I think, might beat out Garrett Bradbury to be the center in New England. And Tate Ratledge, like Detroit is looking for him to become the starting center. Might be Graham Glasgow, we'll see. But one way or the other, Ratledge is going to start somewhere, I think. So you can have three guys from the same school that played right next to each other, all starting from day one in the NFL. But yeah, it looks like Dylan Fairchild is 100% on the path to start. I'd say their competition on the line is more at right guard. I think left guard is going to be Fairchild.